afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, like Defender over the Fatherland. I've had an exciting 1 vs 1 on Angoville. The setting is 1944. As the German army retreats towards German borders, Chun fighting for the Americans are in hot pursuit here with the 1st Armored Division versus the North Sotjador, fighting here for a disparate German Kampfgruppe, the Kampfgruppe Müller. And we got here to meet choice of Feuersturm for Sotjador, interesting choice of the Triple Infantry, versus Rifle Company, Recon Support, and Heavy Cavalry for Chun with Triple Infantry as well. Both are higher ranked players. Chun, though, tends to favour, shall we say, the more brutish tactics. Heavy rifle aggression, not known to blobbing either. No stranger there to it. But he can be efficient in his own way, though. If you can sort of, cut through what he does, you can usually sort of punish him pretty hard. So we'll have to see if Sotjador can do that. Double Sturmpioneer Volkskammer I'm certainly going for something interesting. Now, the question is, if he's going to go for any MP40s. There'll likely be at least one flamethrower. Sturmpons, the flamethrowers can usually have a nice impact there on your opponent. But we'll have to see if he goes for an MP40s, which can be good in getting up close. But of course, that's going to be the trick. Can he get them up close? Our double Sturmpioneers are moving slightly westwards, but he's clearly emphasising the east here for now. Going to try and put some pressure there on Chun, who is very much heavily emphasising the east here. But why going up? They can catch the rifle and with the Sturmpioneers at the right angle. Sotjador here should have a pretty good chance in the early game. We got a 3rd rifle spot on the way there for Chun. Sturmpioneer moving in. Setting up there with assault rifles and getting the rifle out in the open, forcing Chun here to further fall back as Sotjador's other Sturmpioneer squad hits for the fuel. More focus on the way there for the German army. Western Folk squad hitting the fuel there as we got a bit of a light skirmishing being set up. He needs to get the Sturmpioneer to support the first one, otherwise this one's going to just get shot to pieces. Because Chun is just going to bear down with everything he's got on it. 2nd Folk squad out there, Sturmpioneer squad remains in there, and there we go, Chun's going all in. Basically just going to bull rush the Sturmpioneers on their own. I mean, the Sturmpioneers might be able to do some damage, or Sotjador just needs to retreat. I mean, had he had the 2nd Sturmpioneer squad, he probably had a better chance here, but Chun basically sort of just realised, in this case, the basic math just decrease. You just get as many numbers and you just hit them as hard as possible, considering the terrain here. I mean, he could have gone for some more fancy manoeuvres, but just, swarming in there will, in a lot of cases, do the trick. There, we're rifling Chun upwards. Needs to get the full shot in the open. I mean, they're just going to be able to fire 2 shots here, which is not too effective. Also, we've got more riflemen joining in. He's going to need more troops. So right here, Sotjador field was just too cautious with the other Sturmpioneer squad. He wanted to keep this area, but in the end, he just left his units out in the open to be easily dealt with here by Chun's infantry. Because Chun is the sort of, player who, if this issue just got units who are sticking about there on their own, he's going to just rush you down. I mean, he's got absolutely no issues with blobbing at all. I mean, if it makes the most sense to him, it makes the most sense. And he's not going to be afraid to try and destroy your forces in that sense. So right here, Sotjador doing a bit of a stick routine, now doing some damage there. Chun beginning to spread up his forces, but both Sturmpioneer squads need swift reinforcement. Flamethrower there on the way as well, that's very good. That's going to happen here versus the houses, plus it just over-increases the firepower of the Sturmpioneers. I mean, the Sturmpioneer squad with a flamethrower just veterans it up faster than one without it. That's just fact. Moving up to deal with rifling there, they're losing the cuff one there. There we go, quickly fall out there, nicely timed there by Chun, trying on the way there for Sotjador. Likely going to be a battle with headquarters, got a lot of infantry, he's going to need medics, plus of course just allows them faster to get out some assault packages, which could be helpful if you can sort of set up some good flanks. I mean, a lot of Volkskammer's rank from the right spot can actually do a lot of damage with their MP40, of course, is setting up those flanks. Right there, he definitely needs to flank the rifle there by the cut-off point. Sandbags being tossed up, the Sturmpioneers catching the rifle in the open, another Sturmpioneer squad moving in. Bob basically just springs up in the air like some sort of popcorn when he gets seated up. And there, almost got a full block there in Chun's rifleman, but didn't quite land a hit. We get a mortar out here, interesting enough for Chun to sort of probably try and harass and slow down Sotjador, but considering Sotjador's mostly running an infantry, could well be going on infantry with a lot of firepower on the move. The mortar could be a miscalculation here by Chun against Sotjador. Could, but doesn't necessarily have to be. Now wait, battle of headquarters there going up for Sotjador and the Kampfgruppe Müller. We got Sturmpioneers with the Reichlons. On the foot squad, he could fit in the mortar right then and there, occupying the house with a depleted one. A bit risky, bit risky. There you go, the mortar crew under fire. Lieutenant out here for Chun. Keeps up with the aggressive strategy and tactics so far. Could have been into extra traffic, or at least some 50 calibers to further support it. The 50 calibers work excellently due to the high mobility as well on the offensive as well as in the defensive. So Chun then getting ready to the next wave. Tide of olive green. Battle group headquarters slowly going up. Not quite ready yet. Not quite ready yet. And there we go. Will we be seeing any MP40s here though? But we would if he had the munitions for it. He is a bit short there. MD-34 will also be useful. I mean, with the mortar, but the machine gun is just going to be so much more helpful in just punishing Chun with just blob up to counterattack and just force his way through Sotjador's lines. So a machine gun I think should definitely be a priority for Sotjador, preferably more than one. But you can see that already Chun is moving ahead. 50 calibers again work surprisingly well with these kinds of strategies, so Chun just going for them is definitely not a bad idea. Enforcement here, healing. Some of the men are in desperate need of an area. We've got the MP40s out here, colloquially known by as the Schmeisser. So it really didn't have much to do with Hugo Schmeisser. He's sort of initial inventor of the machine gun there, submachine gun, like the MP18 or the MP24. No, 34, not 24, but 34, which was ended up in the German army despite actually being used by the Danish army and the Austrian army. Fun facts there. They were primarily used by the Waffen-SS who could not get access to the MP40 initially. So a few fun facts there, but there you go. Fulton setting out here, fully equipped with MP40s at some spot. There we go. Now we'll have to see if we make use of them, because the MP40s can be devastating, but it does require you actually know how to use them effectively, which of course is a bit the trick. Fulton on the far here, holding up behind the heavy cavalry. You can do they should just be flanking it. It's from trying to grab. The point is just be flanking the 50 cavalry as soon as possible. Fulton going after the lieutenant. Grenade off. Probably should have just popped a smoke grenade instead. I think they like the Fulton much noise. He's closing the lieutenant. Sturm Pioneers ought to be flanking our 50 cavalry positioning. And I feel like he's not quite getting that thoughtfully there. We got Opel Blitz out here for Sotjador now. That's interesting. The Opel Blitz. Sturm Pioneers finally getting a move on him in the south, but it could be a bit too late. Fulton's having rushed now with Lieutenant. We got the Opel Blitz bringing up and allowing him to reinforce. The Fulton's got close. The question now, it's not fast enough. It's not fast enough. Sturm Pioneers still successfully flanking. There we go. MG-34 moving out. The Opel Blitz is going to get anti-tank rifle grenade. A bit awkward there for Sotjador here in the early moments of the game. MG-34 setting up. It's already getting flanked here. Forced retreat. Pretty brutal stuff here against Sotjador by Chun. Troops are reinforcing, healing, getting ready for the next big push. He's going to need to fix up the Opel Blitz, but at the same time, he can use it correctly. He can launch a rather aggressive assault, but suddenly, Sturm Pioneers and Fulton with MP40s appear and just begin cutting down stuff. But there you go, Sotjador suffering heavy losses. One Fulton squad and a Sturm Pioneer squad gone. Flamethrowers lost as well. Not good here for Sotjador, not good. Chun so far is constantly calling the shots and dictating the pace of the fight, which is certainly not helpful here for Sotjador. There we go. We got a motorized assault group here prepared. Note they did actually have a lot of trucks for transporting infantry. The Opel Blitz I think was not the primary one. There was some actually other ones, including some half tracks that weren't armored, but also used for transporting troops about. They had a lot more seats and actually sort of open tops. Fun fact. So there we go. Successfully holding them with a lot of firepower here. Needs to keep moving now. Need to keep moving. Mach schnell. But at least he's switching angle instead of just trying to push straight into where Chun is strongest. He's just trying to assume, alright, Chun is weakest in the east. I'm going to push hard into the east instead. That's definitely, I think, the best call there by Sotjador. Avoids, I think, a lot of unnecessary fighting. Allows him just to make progress then, so the set up defenses where then Chun has to attack into, which is definitely much more beneficial for Sotjador anyways. Single 50 cal here could be overwhelmed by the Opel Blitz. If you could steal the 50 cal, that'd be amazing here for Sotjador. He's going to need to rush it now, if he spots it, that is. He keeps flipping about that 50 cal there. It seems like Chun is suffering some severe indecision. There you go, pops it out, pops back. Troops moving up, is supported by the MG-34. grabbing points here as well. So good progress in the east. Chun, of course, now forced to fall back. He's got bazooka teams out, possibly expecting a flak half track, which would actually not be a half-bad choice here for Sotjador. Can be quite effective if handled correctly. We got another MD-34 for Sotjador. Again, he is focusing very much on trying to deal with all of Chun's infantry. That is definitely, I think, the right choice there. Got more MP-40s going out there for Sotjador as well. Caught though here by a lot of forces laying down sandbags. He just retreats rather than trying to fight it out, realising he could be able to just, end up losing men needlessly. Rather than trying to flank in, we got the MD-34 up, going to catch the reactions there in a good spot. Grenade here, Brandhand Granate. There we go, landing and burning up to Yankees. And we got the MP-40s moving up here, going to sweep out the re-echelons. 7 kills so far, Veteran T2. Not bad. More setting up. We got the rifle moving in there. More BRs out there for Chun. Plus, we got the 5th Cab setting up there in the fuel point. He could rush here with the Opel Blitz, set up on the flank. Tear into it. Back here, troops reinforcing. Got another try on the way that's going to likely be a setup for Strap punted quarters there for Sotjador. Can now push westwards. He seems quite eager just to give up terrain here to Chun in the east so far. Though again, a big swift push into the west can work out. And mortar fire here. Could maybe try and move up here, sneak in and sort of hit the mortar crew along with the assault troops. That could actually be a pretty good idea here for Sotjador. I can get rid of the mortar, that would be helpful. Plus, if we can steal that, be even more helpful. That means you have a counter to the 5th caliber, plus put more pressure on Chun. Smoke screens as well. Lots of utility there, to be honest. All the way making good haste in the west. Machine gunner needs to be very, very foresight. And falls back from the east. Now he's once going into the west. And Chun is over against the enforcers. We've got the re-echelons with the bazookas. Not enough munitions there quite yet for the Schwer punted quarters. Lots of back and forth here so far in the opening moments of the game. A game of cat and mouse, except the cat in this case speaks American and wields a lot of automatic firepower. Have been caught again. Need to get the Opel Blitz down there. Don't forget the Opel Blitz. Sotjador. 50 coming in westwards. And there we go. We've got the bazooka team moving in. Rifleman suppressed here. There we go. Bazooka opening up here. Schwab Hunter quarters. A track being set. Spotted. The MD-34 needs to get to that support. We got a big push to the calf point. Tricky situation here for Sotjador. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? I can feel he's been too passive here with the Opel Blitz. Like, to use the Opel Blitz effect, you need to find a good spot to flank with and then just launch an assault from that angle. And he's sort of not trying to find, but there you go, there we go. Supreme firepower unleashed at close range. Does get a wipe there on the rifleman. That's definitely good here for Sotjador. Definitely good. Going in for the lieutenant next, M4s again, doing a lot of damage up close, even suppressed here. The riflemen do suffer a lot. The Sturmpanzer is almost taken out. 5th caliber there opening. Ooh, it's not nearby. Oh, there we are. In the south, we've got riflemen bypassing using a smoke screen there. Very nice work there by Chun, actually. I think that's the first time I've seen him use smoke. At least I don't recall it. Arlo going for the cuff point there. Troops are back for healing reinforcement. Schwer Punter's quarter still not going up. Can't go up. And we got the force of flanking riflemen, get up close, that should give him the chance to win. And there we go, riflemen being cut to ribbons. The MP-40s just basically outgunning them, that even then still ends up being pretty close. Once more, the east is wide open. Again, we can see that while Chun forcing enforced concentration, again, it also means he's very much weak on map control. To an extent, I think Sotjador realises he's using smoke there again. And this is nice to see that Chun is really beginning to realise that smoke is a pretty good thing to have in your repertoire of tactical tools. Back here, healing enforcement. We got more riflemen weather for Chun, plus another 50 caliber. He's just sort of focusing so far on the infantry elements here versus Sotjador. More MP-40s here. Keeps pushing, heads east as well while pushing up the west. I think it's at the Schwer Punter's quarter. Should be doing it soon. The faster the better, and get out some orbital down, because I think that'd be really helpful here versus Chun. Very helpful. Needs to find that 50 caliber. Don't grab the point. Go for the 50 caliber. Sotjador. The 50 calibers don't stop up. Oh dear. Meanwhile, to on the eastern side here, committing a lot of forces there. So clearly at this stage, I think the western force is more of a distraction here for Sotjador more than anything. Shrap Hunted quarters up. Swift advancing. You could consider as a mine if he has the munition, but there you go. Chun is already counter-attacking, this time realising what's going on. Shrap Hunted quarters will help defend the cut-off point. There we go. Big force already got to take up there for Chun as well. Can be able to go for Shem pretty soon, where Sotjador is any farther behind. Smoking down here, make it hard for him to use the block effectively, forcing him to the effective range here, or in this case, just allowing Chun or Sotjador to retreat more effectively. Definitely not a bad idea either. Definitely not a bad idea either. It's like panzer tactician for infantry. But yeah, once more, Chun just forces his way through. Sotjador, I think, is just to an extent struggling here with the Chun sort of style of tactics. It can be a rather violent sort of stuff. Machine gun spotted by another machine gun and routed. And pushing westwards now. Will there be orbals allowed in here for Sotjador, or will he be going for something else? That's going to be the big question. But again, orbals don't feel like with the light machine guns could put some severe pressure here on Chun and the 1st Armour Division. I think it can also free up the machine gun here from the calf point, or at least move it slightly further ahead. Smoke screen off, very good. Bazooka team flanking off. But sadly not going to do much. God damn it, Carl! You told me those were panzers. They're just krauts. There we go. Grenade off. Another smoke screen. Very good, very good. Troops are pushing for the car pump to hold of the machine gun. And Schwer Panzer Corps will cover the flank up. Very nice, very nice. Going for the rear, so if we can get a wipe, that'd be pretty helpful here for Sotjador. Removing a bazooka team, maybe grabbing some of those bazookas could be quite helpful. But, no dice here. Rifleman, if we can sort of sneak up here, might have a chance of getting the rifleman retreat. I mean, whatever wipe here, Sotjador can land is going to be quite helpful here versus Chun. There we go. Got the wipe. Got the wipe. Still need to retreat. There we go. MP40's tank through Chun. But 50 cover once more to the rescue here. Very good. Very good for Chun. Still getting wiped there. Dust about Sotjador. It's another manpower unit gone. Diminishes how much we can actually do with his horde attacks. First jam those out already. Of course, that's going to add some serious pressure here to Sotjador, who's got one like Kednefer for now. He's going to need more than the one for now. He's going to need to go for some armor. Germans heading out here for Chun, for America, freedom, democracy. Kednefer hiding beneath the shade of a tree. Hiding from the elements and allied bombers at the same time. Machine gun versus machine gun, heavy cover there. He could add incendiary armor, piercing, nice, a bit of extra damage. Chun falls back. Sotjador's really been able to stabilize the situation somewhat, but victory points wise, he's far behind Chun and the 1st Armour tier. The Kampfgruppe Müller needs to reorganize and fight back harder for Deutschland, and in this case, survival. Strength of the Kednefer here, good hit, good hit. Sotjador's got on manpower, the Kednefer more would, I think, be the right choice here. Assaulted head on, falls back. Smoke screen off as well. Very good with Sotjador. Oh, Chun, I mean, Chun. And both players are definitely displaying some competent smoke tactics. I'm not going to call it super hyper advanced and all that, but they're definitely not just sitting about there with it either, which is great to see. Strap Hans scores things down to the Sherman. He's some time off here from any armor. Mines down there. You can soon go for a Panzer IV. I'd still recommend another Kednefer. If he's not going for that, he should at least go for some orbital radar. I mean, anything I think that puts some more serious pressure there on Chun's troops would be quite appreciated here for Sotjador. Machine gun opening up here. Troops sitting reinforcing. In the east, forces moving up here. We've got rifling up in the far range. Smoke seems to be helpful. ODS falls back. And there you go, holded by the MD-34. Schwer Panzer Corps could do with some repairs here. The Kednefer could also be recruited. And meanwhile, Chun just keeps that up. He is like a raging tempest. A force of nature. Rifling pinned down here by the MU-34. Chun's moving up on the west side. MU-34 full gun is moving up there. Chun trying to take out the Schwerpanzer corps and mortar fire. Not fully succeeding there. Both sides putting quite a bit of manpower. And smoke's been off again. Ends up retreating now. Got suppressed and he can't get, I think, unsuppressed fast enough. I do think Sotjador needs to focus more on his flanks here with the Fulton, particularly get behind them. The Fulton's just going to have a good chance of getting in some wipes there. Whereas if he just run straight ahead, I mean, A, he exposed himself to a lot more fire in a lot of the situation, but also, again, his opponent can just more easily retreat. Like, if you got this many MP40s, you really just want to emphasize flanking. In this case, you'd be focusing more on the central road, and then depending on where his opponent is, either swing up through here or swing up through there. I mean, this thing is a bit the trick there to Angoville. It's understanding how some of these corners here, and here, and even here can sort of affect how you can get close to your opponent. In particular, your opponent's focusing here, trying to get up behind. He's actually really powerful in a lot of situations. Got a light infantry on there for Sotjador. Getting some artillery of his own is a pretty good if you can't see the enemy mortar. Getting the major. A small victory, nothing big, but still it's going to slow down Chun's ability to grab a lot of territory. Plus another potential bazooka team. Panzer IV, almost done. That's going to help you get a replacement major here, including Chun actually wants to use it not just, for grabbing territory, but also for his ability. So he clearly wants to use the artillery, which is, not a bad idea at all. So that indicates some thought going on with Chun in his strategy. Got the Panzer IV setting out. The pin up seems to be great here for Sotjador. Light Infanteriegeschütz setting up by the Schwerpanzer quarters. Bit risky there. I mean, the Schwerpanzer corps already drawing fire, so he could risk his light infantry gun being caught up in there as well. But there you go, smoke's been down again. Chun has researched grenades here. Could also be why I want for the major, because the major now causes a source of smoke as well. Panzer IV Chun firing out there, Panzer IV having the edge there. In the west though, Sotjador making good progress there versus Chun, pushing him back off the field for Germany. Panzer IV could do with some light repairs. Instead, sending in there. A bit risky there, to be honest. There's a lot of houses, there's a lot of places where an American rifle squad could be hiding with an anti-tank rifle grenade. So fuel cache up here. Clearly Chun's got some sort of long-term strategy in mind. He's planning straight for a Pershing, though. He was going for that with just one Sherman. He's going to give Sotjador more time to get back into the fight and maybe get an advantage. That's a bit risky here what Chun is doing. Then again, he's just got such a fat lead. It might not be too big, or at least appear too big for him. Grenades going off, artillery fire raining down here. Fulton for some reason not abandoning the house. They can actually try and rush the mortar there, to be honest. He needs another push here by Chun. America, freedom, and strain to the MU-34. Deutschland, less freedom. There we go, grenade off. Decently thrown there by Sotjador. Almost got the mortar. Fulton's remaining inside the house. They're just taking a lot of fire without really doing anything. Honestly, seems a bit like a waste. They could have been a misclick by Sotjador. He just forgot to move them on. Huge bazooka force. They're going for the Panzer IV. And there you go. Major being used as a bazooka team as well. Chun flooding a lot of manpower. Need to be a bit careful about that. Fulton moving up. They're sweeping away the Americans with their bazookas and their gangster tactics. So he's got 4 Fulton squads right here with MP40s. I definitely feel like the 4th one was a bit much. He should have gone for at least some Opel at some later point just with the light machine guns. Again, they really, I think, help out a lot here versus Chun's strategy. 3rd Academy, I also feels like it's a bit overkill here by Sotjador. We got Chun there with heavy cavalry. So again, Pershing is very much part of the plan. If you just go for a Ranger squad, to be honest, just to add to the fun. Or just go for some Steel Empires very quick with those for the Panzershake. But I definitely feel like triple Academy is a bit much. I mean, hell, I think another light infantry gun could actually be a better choice here. I mean, the problem is when you get managed 3 Academy, you have a much more high likelihood of just losing. The problem is you do not want to lose an Academy efforts to your opponent. Particularly not in this sort of situation there. So I definitely feel like triple Academy efforts is Sotjador pushing his luck here versus Chun. There we go. Oh, and with the 5th cavalry, we could see a wipe. We could see a wipe. Ah, damn damn it. No grenades either. Got stopped there. Pretty damn close. Again, it just highlights the sheer mobility of the 50 caliber as well. It can set up incredibly fast, which is a bit surprising for, you know, being a 50 kilo machine gun. I mean, machine gun MG42 is weight light, and the MG34 can't set up nearly that fast or move that fast. So it's always one of those weird things. But anyways, we're generally being blasted by the Panzer IV. Sotjador going for a flamhead, so that's definitely a really not good call. I can understand why once, but the problem is he really should be figuring out his opponent hasn't been going for any other armor for now some time after the Sherman. He has heavy cavalry. There should be the potential of the Pershing and anything else. He needs either another Panther IV or, you know, a Jagdpanzer Panther. Like, the problem is the flamhead is not even that good versus infantry. Like, it's decent versus Dug-in units, but the problem is Chun's not got a lot of those. The flamhead, so he's, I think, is a pretty weak call by Sotjador. It just feels like more like he wants to go for it, and I can understand that, you know, deciding he wants to go for the flamheads because it's kind of neat, but it's a highly risky move here by Sotjador. Highly risky. I mean, it's definitely not reading Chun very correctly here. Got the fuel cache though. Small victory there for Sotjador. Again, he's at least realised to an extent how Chun plays, and again just hits the other side, which Chun isn't. But the flamheadser is... that's a really bad read. There we go. Hits a mine, hits a mine. Oh, the Kedmev's retreat! Except one. So now he has no chance of destroying it. His Panther IV is too heavily damaged. Oh no. Missed opportunity here by Sotjador. But again, that's what happens when you move your Kedmevs too far ahead of your infantry, so you can't even support them and protect them. Flamheads are sending out their pinlock machine on the way there. There you go, catching the troops out in the open. They're burning away. Getting a few kills. Pershing, they're ready for Chun, for America, freedom, democracy. Fun fact, the Hetzer itself actually saw service on the Eastern Front much sooner than it did on the Western Front, where it only saw service right about the time of the Battle of the Ardennes. But it actually saw service there around, I think, mid-1944, a bit earlier on the Eastern Front. Fun fact. Burning through the 5th cover, there we go. Pershing flanks, and at this stage, I'm imagining sort of Sotjador just kind of goes scheisse. Because the flamheadser, in a situation as the Pershing, is not really good. Victory points wise, Chun still got a fat lead over Sotjador. We're going to Lieutenant Lloyd to replace the one lost. At least some sort of success here for him. MG34 upgrade. I still find it weird because the machine was designed to be fired and operated from inside the Hetzer. Or for that matter, the Stuke, which you could also mount it on. It was known as the Rundumsfeuer, or all-around fire machine gun. Sherman sitting out. Lieutenant number 2 out here for Chun. Big push here from Sotjador up the west. He got triple arcade members moving out. Panther IV flamheads, so they need to be working together there, I think. He's clearly trying to bait the Persian into the Kedmevs, but he'll definitely benefit from the flamheads acting as additional bait. In East Oak flanking up here, but caught by the machine gun. Now he's moving up the flamheads are there. On the West Oak, there we go. Triple arcade up the Persian. Some penetrate, some do not. Panther IV is not quite pursuit. And most of the Kedmevs end up missing. Bad luck there for Sotjador. Burning away there at the MG34. Yeah, the Rundumsfeuer machine gun was one sort of way of trying to add more infantry protection there for armour. Another version was the Nachfertigungswaffe, which was essentially sort of a small launcher within the Panzer, which used mounted tanks, where it sort of had a small flare gun that could sort of fire different rounds depending on the situation. Smoke rounds, I suppose, in which case worked a bit like the Sherman smoke screen, but it could also be used to fire smaller fragmentation rounds out at nearby infantry. Fun fact. It could also fire flares. So, a few fun notes there. But there you go, lots of Kedmevs, flamheads moving in as well there. Big push here from Sotjador. Possibly now shouting Deutschland as he moves all this ahead. But there you go, Kedmevs up with the Sherman, forcing it back. Flamheads are there moving in as well. 3 kills, halfway to veterans who won. And straight to the bazookas. Burning away the Major and the Echelons also moving on as well. The Kedmevs are still moving about too much. They're getting rushed here by the Sherman. Should Panzerfaust it, Panzerfaust it. Real crew there being murdered up. Reactions annihilated. Got 8 kills on the Flammenheads. Sherman down. Bit of a loss here for Chun. He might be getting a bit too greedy here. Could we see another one? Could we see something more? No. We do not. In the west here, Sotjador forced to fall back in the wave of or face of Chun's infantry assault with nothing to support his Panzer IV. He's also lost some Volksgrenadiers. Should replace them with Obersoldaten. Then again, he's almost at full pop count. There we go. We got another Opel Blitz out. Other reason not to go for triple Kettenwerfers. They eat up pop cap like the candies. I'm the good candies. There you go. Half the rockets managed to penetrate the Pershing's thick hide. Panzerfaust off as well. More bouncers. There we go. We got troops reinforcing using the Opel Blitz for that. Bazooka dropped. He's got no Sturmpanzers nearby that could actually recruit. And holy hell! He made use of the HVAP round ability. He used to fire a huge round there, tearing apart so many of Sotjador's troops. That was one hell of a shot. You rarely see it used like that, but it does have quite the impressive AoE as well. For the dealing with it, we got the Opel Blitz now. We can reinforce. Got the machine gun firing as well. Bazooka firing the Opel Blitz. Need to fall a bit back. There we go. Units taking heavy loss. We could see a wipe here. Could see a wipe. Yes, indeed. Wipes are happening. Wipes are happening. Chun might have just bitten off more than can chew here as Sotjador tears through him like a lawnmower through grass. Yeah, who's a cart mower now, you Yankee assholes? But so many corpses, so many casualties, so much field grey. It's going to need to reinforce it, but again, like any sort of vehicle that can reinforce and can be quite useful at times, just breaking up enemy attacks if used correctly, because yes, you've got enough firepower to tear down the enemy and still just keep force strength, whereas if they're not quick enough to retreat, they can end up suffering heavy losses. So there you go, Lieutenant, push back here. That's definitely, I think, a good engagement there for Sotjador. The problem is he's just, I don't quite think I have the forces. Oh, he needs to destroy the Kettenwerfer. He's trying, but the Kettenwerfer crew missed the Kettenwerfer. Grabs the bazooka. Folks moving in. There we got Veteran 4. Riflemen taking staggering casualties. As the MP40s just tear through them. 84 points left though here for Sotjador. Got a Scott out here for Chun to try and blast his way through the crowds. Mortar there being assaulted. There we go, wiped it, but the Volksgrenadiers are close to annihilation as well here, the Pershing and the Scott. And there we go, 50 Kappa wrecks through another Opel Blitz here, depriving Sotjador of any mobility. And fort reinforcement, which again is surprisingly useful. And again, he would not have won that engagement previously, would just took out some other Chun's forces without the Opel Blitz. Mines going down here, Panzer moving eastwards. Oh, hits an anti-tank man. My God, who keeps swinging around and says Scheiße like that? It's the Americans. Ah, typical. Troops are healing, enforcing. Flammenheads are moving ahead. I still feel like there's an awkward choice. I think Sotjador this day is going to need either Jagdpanzer or Panther to really take on Chun's Pershing. We got Veterans 1 here for the Flammenheads. Panther moving up support as well. Got the 5th Cavalry moving westward. Sturmpanzers need to get moving. Then they're standing on top of the mine, which could give away the position there to Chun. Scott, they're creeping ahead. Sotjador's closing in to go, calling the Panther with the rest, but again his pop cap is just too high. In fact, he went for another Kettenwerfer. Like, he keeps locking himself down for a more efficient option versus the Pershing, because the Kettenwerfer, even if he's got 3 of them, is not necessarily the most super efficient. Like, it relies on an awful lot of R&D, and there you go, caught moving to the house, he just got blasted. And the Pershing is an absolute infantry murder machine, as we can see here. There you go, Panzerfaust off down the engine, but Sotjador lacks something to sort of be very more consistently deal with. Again, he's got no Jagdpanzer, no Panther. He needs that instead of a Kettenwerfer, which also, as you can see, very exposed to the Pershing, but also the Scott. And right now, Chun's force is very much built for just punishing like Kettenwerfers. Like, you can just quickly tear them apart if Sotjador's not careful. So he's better off just aiming for something which can't easily be dealt with. Dog machine guns in the west. Sotjador wants no Americans to approach. Nego, I'm getting off close to the Panther 4. Oh! Almost got a wipe here, almost got a wipe, but he's also got damage into the Panther 4. Flammenheads are not supporting. Oh, there we go, got a wipe here. Chun is bleeding out heavily in infantry. And that can tend to be sort of Chun's issue as the game progresses. He tends to struggle with the unit preservation. Major suppressed Sturmpaniers rushing in. He actually needs more Sturmpaniers or mechanized Rem to repair stuff. And right now his Panther 4's in a really bad spot. And his Arcadian efforts are nowhere near to be seen. Because either they're gone or, you know, they're elsewhere. And this is where Panther would have been much more useful. Or Jagdpanzer even. But so far there's no sign of that. He's definitely going to go for a Panther now. Persian gets away. There are lots of bazooka fire on the Flammhetzer, which... I mean, he's just been doing a lot of nothing with it. He just definitely feels like another mistake here by Sotjador. He really should have gone, I think, for Jagdpanzer, to be honest. Going for the Flammhetzer here with the Pershing. Oh! Fortunately, it could tear apart the reactions. They're trying to cross negative cover. There we go, there we go. Huge amounts of lead. Through some sheer miracle, the folks just don't hit each other with it. I mean, literally standing and shooting right at each other with them somehow. I mean, logically, they'd have to suffer some pretty heavy casualties themselves, like it's some sort of comedy. But, I mean, they just, you know, again, due to the way the game works, not doing it. I mean, admittedly, that would probably more than anything just stop blob tactics if infantry could hit themselves with their own bullets. 50 Cavalry Scott rushing west, and then you've had 4 ready Sturmpaniers. Another machine gun coming back. Sotjador should go for a Panther here. And right now, Chun's actually taking severe casualties. He's still got a victory point that is sizable. He's still got 250 Cavalry out, and there's still a massive problem here for Sotjador, but otherwise his force is actually really small, so if Sotjador just gets sufficiently aggressive, he can probably pull ahead here. If. That's kind of the big question here. Can Sotjador display the aggression, this spirit needed to overcome Chun? America. Strength machine in the Sturmpionierer. He needs to pull up a flank here instead of just constantly tacking down. He needs to flank about. That definitely seems to be one of, I think, Sotjador's biggest issue so far this match. Sotjador seems almost like he's blind to flanking. Like, you know, he needs some kind of special corrective glasses to actually see flank routes or something. Because, I mean, really, again, with the sort of force composition you have, he really ought to be aiming for flanking, but there's a lot of time he just, you know, beeline straight at the enemy, despite the enemy easily being able to outrange him, so he really needs to consider flanking more. I mean, it would be nice if you could create corrective glasses for, you know, teaching people how to flank. That requires them in a virtual reality stuff, or alternate reality, whatever it's called there. And then just, you know, a small video of me just constantly shouting at them, "No! Flank, you pillock!" But, you know. Up here, there's Scott with the second Pershing out here for Chun. Machine gun almost taken out. Accelerating down there. Chun needs to be... Oh, Sotjador needs to be careful. I mean, still got a larger force here, so... I mean, if he just plays it correctly here, he still has a chance. If... Rather than blocking up the path of the Panther, quickly get a tank rifle grenade and damage the engine. Sotjador is taking no chance if the Panther gets stuck now. That could be a very bad spot. Still needs to keep up pressure, needs to keep momentum, needs to keep, you know, Sotjador or Chun, I mean, from recovering. Chun, of course, is trying to keep Sotjador from getting too much of an upper hand, while he tries to ensure he doesn't lose too many troops in the process. So that's definitely a bit of a balance here that Chun's got going. But on the other hand, if he can get to somehow buy himself more time, he can probably bleed out Sotjador fully. But right now, Sotjador's got the lead, he's got the bleed. And his Panthers got too much schnapps. For some reason he's not going after the Pershing there with his Panther. He's going for more Volksgun than he is right now, which I definitely feel is a bad move. He needs Obersoldaten, partly just because, again, they're going to be much more effective. There's a lot of the stuff here that Chun's got, but they can lay down booby traps, which makes it much harder for Chun to just rush the points, and he really needs booby traps. I think a lot of people just underestimate the sheer utility of booby traps. Pershing's going to flank the Panther. Shot bounced off the Pershing's armour. 5th Cavalry being flanked with the Volksgunners. Good work. Bazooka team's running in. There you go. Mine went off. Machine gun white, bit of a loss there for Sotjador, for the German army, for the Kampfgruppe Müller. Machine gun turning up here, retreating. And we got like Kedma screaming up, trying to take on the Pershing. Reactions there. Oh, Sturmpaniers is retreating in the face of the reactions. Folks also end up retreating. Suddenly gets a bit chaotic, a bit hectic between Sotjador and Chun. One hand grenade there I think would be quite helpful. Instead, gets grenaded first and wiped. Panzerfall would actually be a pretty helpful choice now for Sotjador. He can sort of just get away with setting up a bit more manpower, which can sort of put some more pressure on the infantry. And particularly clear out the machine guns, because the machine guns are really just doing huge work here, I think, for Chun at times. Oh, Sotjador isn't paying attention. Scheiße. He's got an absolutely excellent opportunity to wipe a 50 caliber and steal it. What is going on? They're not even shooting. It's like they can't even see the Americans. They need corrective glasses. Which is fucking blindness. I mean, bloody blindness. And he goes for the rifle, overlooks the 50 caliber entirely, gets a unit wiped there. Why didn't he prioritize the 50 caliber? The rifle didn't matter. Like, the 50 caliber was like the big issue of Sotjador throughout this fight, and somehow he managed to overlook that entirely. I mean, I think Sotjador is just getting stressed out here. Like, the fight's lasted for too long for him. He's just beginning to get, you know, worn out. Whereas Chun clearly has the stamina to keep on with these fights, but Sotjador is lacking behind. There's too much going on for him. He's now beginning to, you know, basically lose his advantage through some very unfortunate misplays. There we go, another unit wipe. Now it's barely got any infantry left, which is going to make it even harder for him to deal with the 50 caliber machine guns, because he needs, if he just has only infantry, it needs to be more infantry squads to envelop them. But like, he can't envelop with just one infantry squad, obviously. Now sending in the Panther zone to deal with the Pershing. There's definitely, I think, some desperation creeping in here to Sotjador's movements. About to lose his Pershing. He's going to need more Sturm points of the Panther to keep that repair. His light infantry gun is also seeing very little use here. Should recruit that machine gun. Reasons out here for Chun to just help grab territory. There are 15 points left here for Sotjador. This is starting to look pretty bad. Could also well be that Sotjador at this stage is tilted. There's also a possibility, since being tilted does not necessarily lead to making very good decisions either. Sturm pilots need to retreat, Panzer moving in. Almost got the Pershing. In fact, he gets the Pershing, but he's down to 3 points. He can't do anything with that small victory, except I suppose feel reassured about himself that he at least did something well, but like, he's just got no infantry left. So there we go, GG, game over. Bloody fight featuring Feuersturm at, I would say, more or less full peak. I mean, the only thing he didn't use more or less was rocket barrages and incendiary munitions, but actually got C of the Opel Blitz, MP4s, the Flum heads. I mean, some decent use over there. Chun, there was a really, really aggressive, nasty opponent. That's basically what Chun is. Just, you know, it would just keep up insane pressure, keep it up. But again, unit pressure tends to be one of his bigger weaknesses. We can sort of, you know, catch him on a wipe at times. You can sort of slow him down a lot. The problem for Sotjador in part was just, kind of used his force inefficiently. I mean, he never flanked. I mean, really, on Angoville in particular, which you might as well just call Flankoville. Like, with this sort of force comes in particular, you want to flank, but Sotjador never flanked, and that was definitely one of his biggest mistakes. I mean, really, if I could, I'd give him some bloody corrective glasses to teach him how to bloody flank, because that was really just Sotjador's major issue. He just never flanked. Like, again, Angoville, boop, 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 boop. Again, these are the major flank points. Like, you just hit up here and hit behind there, you know, go for the other points. Don't think linearly. But the problem is, Sotjador was constantly thinking only linear paths. It's like he just, you know, been hit by a ruler so much when he was a child, he can only think in straight lines or something. I don't know. Like, the problem is, in particular with the Oberkommando West, it's very much a faction that wants you to flank a lot as well. Particularly with the build, again, he went forward, so like, it was just in many ways slightly uncomfortable here for Sotjador a lot of the time, and Chun was just able to, you know, gun him down. So I mean, really, while Sotjador understood some things about where well, I think about Chun's build and how to counter it to an extent, the problem was he just didn't seem to understand his own very well, which rather gave ultimately in the longer run Chun the advantage because Sotjador never flanked. So, well, again, an interesting strategy, and I think really had a lot of potential. The overall issue was just it was not very executed efficiently, and the Flum heads was definitely, I think, also just a really big mistake there. It was just a complete misread of the situation. It was something that Chun was more than happy to exploit, because Chun likes to exploit any mistake you make. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. You can send in your own replays via links in the video description, or you can also donate or pledge on Patreon to support the Propagandacaster, which of course is very appreciated. Also, of course, in the video description you can find the links there. So this is Imperial Links. Cheers, thank you for watching. Hope you'll tomorrow for another episode. Bye.